I have here two screens. I'm going to use both of them. Okay, we are online. And welcome to our dear members and friends. I would like also to send special hugs to Anna Sterenberg, who is following us from Geneva, Italy. Thank you for being there. I know that's very, very. Let me see what time is it. I don't know. This woman never sleep because she's following all the synagogues around the planet, around the world. Let me see. Probably it's 4 a.m. in Italy. And then thank you for being with us, Anna. And she also joined us during Shabbat. My dear friends, we are in the week before Shavuot, and we are going to study and we are going to reflect about Ruth. Ruth and the Torah, a story of choice and belonging. And I would like to dedicate our class to the lovely city of Jerusalem, that today we are commemorating Yom Yerushalayim, the Day of Jerusalem, or the Jerusalem Day. Today we remember and we commemorate 59 years of the reunification of the city of Jerusalem after the 6 Days War in 1967. Then it's really a day to rejoice and to embrace our brothers and sisters in the city of Jerusalem, Yom Yerushalayim, the very nice city of Jerusalem. Let me just welcome also our Melamedet, Caroline, welcome, and Randy, you're very welcome too. And we are going to talk about Ruth. And first of all, I would like to start with the question. Okay, and the question, and I would like to invite you to answer the question. We talk about Ruth and the Torah, a story of choice and belonging. And the question is, what makes someone truly belong to a people, a faith, or a community? Once again, the question, what makes someone truly belong to a people, a faith, or a community? I open the floor to listen your voices and your answers.
Dedication.
Sorry, speak a little loud.
Dedication.
Dedication. Can you develop a little bit?
A long-standing commitment.
Okay. Okay. What else?
Participation.
Participation. Yes, Sherry, go ahead.
Acceptance of the particular community or group. Acceptance.
Okay, great.
Love of a person who belongs.
Love. Love, it's very important. Can be also a birth, culture, values, choice. You mentioned before commitments. When we are talking about the story of Ruth, we need to understand that it's very important to consider what you just answered, which is the relationship between the text and Ruth and Naomi. I'm going to introduce, of course, I'm going to introduce the characters, but first of all, I would like I like to show you, we are talking about a specific time, and this is the specific time. We can consider that this history happened around 3,000 years ago, in the time of the monarchy of Israel, in the time of the Shoftim, of the judges, in between the year 1375 before the year 0, in the way that we count the years, and the year 130. And the place, it's very important. I would like to show you the place that happened, this history, to understand better that it's a real place. And this is the place. We are talking about the land of Bethlehem. Bethlehem, we say in English, Belen, Bethlehem, Bethlehem in Hebrew. And then we are talking about Moab, the land of Moab. The land of Moab today, it's the state of Jordan, in the other side of the Dead Sea. Okay, we are talking about the real place. Okay, real places, real cities. You can visit these places. It's very important also to remember that Bethlehem, it's really near to Jerusalem. The question is why Ruth or Naomi's family, why they left the land of Canaan and they walked to Moab. Why they went to Moab? It's a reason that it's coming many times in the Bible, which is the reason that they went to other land. Why? It was tourism. What happened with them?
Is this because of a drought again?
Yes, exactly, Franklin.
That's what I would think.
Yes. Every time that they have problems with food and water, they had two possibilities. One, to cross the Dead Sea and go to the other side, the land of Moab. Remember that you have here the Jordan River. Okay, the Jordan River. And also, yes, many of the stories happen that our characters went to the south. The south is Egypt, the land of Egypt. Okay, and this is the region. It's important to remember. But another important point, we are talking in a time that they were not roads. Okay, they were not signs to go from one place to the other. Okay, it's a region. Every time that you arrive to this region, yes, it's like a desert. And also in the other side, till you arrive to the big city, it will take at least many days to arrive from one place to the other. It's important to remember this because we are talking about a family who is living. When we are talking about family, yes, family, we are thinking about a husband, a wife, yes, and their sons and their daughters-in-law. Okay, this is the family. We need also to pay attention to the names of this story. We are talking about Ruth. Ruth, I was reading Ruth. It's coming. We can find many meanings to the name Ruth. One of them is Reaya, like a friend. In fact, she became a good friend from Naomi, and other meanings from this name. Yes, it's what she like. In Hebrew, we say ratzon. It's someone who really like what she is doing. Okay, and this is the way that Ruth embraced everything that she did. Okay, she really liked and she really enjoyed everything that she did. We are going later on to read directly from the book and to discover the other names that we find in the book. Okay, I would like to show you a short video, just an introduction. It's part of the history, and then we are going to read, but just a short video. There is just one point that I didn't agree with the video, okay, but I will tell you in the exact point that I don't like. But the history, it's let's say it's a good introduction for our meeting.
In a time when every man did what was right in his own eyes, a famine forced a family into foreign soil. One by one, death claimed everything she loved. Naomi, whispering, voice trembling, full of sorrow, "Go back to your gods. I have nothing left to give you." Ruth responded, "Where you go, I will go. Where you die, I will die." But in the field of the wealthy, redemption is hidden and danger waits in the shadows. A midnight encounter, a secret claim, a dangerous tradition that could shatter bloodlines or seal a divine legacy. One woman, one choice, one bloodline that would change the world forever. Her name is...
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, the Chief
Adam,
Executive
it's not,
Officer of Phoenix Energy.
Part of the book.
I look forward to you
Okay.
A long time ago, when judges were leading Israel, there was a famine in the land. A man from Bethlehem in Judah went to live in Moab for a while with his wife and 2 sons. His name was Elimelech. His wife's name was Naomi. His 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were from Bethlehem in Judah. They went to Moab.
The names are really important and show us many things. The father called Elimelech. Elimelech, it's 2 words in one word. Eli, it's my God. Melech, king.
It's king.
My God, it's king. And also they had 2 sons, Machlon and Chilion, that it's a synonym of illness. Okay? And let's see what happened with them.
Moab and stayed there. Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left with her 2 sons. The sons married Moabite women. One was named Orpah, and the other was named Ruth. They lived there for about 10 years. Then Mahlon and Chilion also died. Naomi was now alone without her.
This is what is wrong, okay? This is not cross, okay? They were not Christians, okay?
Her husband or her 2 sons. Naomi heard in Moab that the Lord had helped his people in Judah by giving them food again. So she and her daughters-in-law got ready to leave Moab and return home. Naomi left the place where she had been living. Her daughters-in-law went with her on the road back to Judah. Naomi said to them, "Go back home to your mothers. May the Lord be kind to you, just like you were kind to my sons and to me. May the Lord help you find new husbands and give you good homes." Then she kissed them goodbye.
We see here, we had in the past intermarriage, okay? There are many people who said, oh my God, nowadays that we have intermarriage. We had in the past, okay? We have people from Israel who got married with people from Moab, okay? Different nations, different tradition, different gods, okay? We need to consider this, and this is the reason. And Naomi was a part of the people of Israel. The daughters-in-law were part of Moab, and she advised their daughters-in-law.
They cried loudly. They said to her, "No, we will go with you to your people." But Naomi said, "Go back, my daughters. Why should you come with me? Do I still have sons in my womb who could become your husbands? Go back, my daughters. I am too old to have another husband. Even if I thought there was still hope for me, if I got married tonight and had sons, would you wait until they grew up? Would you stay unmarried for them? No, my daughters. It's much more bitter for me than for you, because the Lord has turned against me." They cried again. Then Orpah kissed Naomi goodbye, but Ruth stayed with her. Naomi said, "Look, your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. You should go with her." But Ruth said, "Don't make me leave you or turn back. Where you go, I will go. Where you live, I will live. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. Where you die, I will die, and that is where I'll be buried. May the Lord punish me terribly if I let anything but death separate us." When Naomi saw that Ruth had made up her mind to go with her, she stopped trying to convince her. So the two of them went on until they came to Bethlehem. When they arrived in Bethlehem, the whole town was stirred up. The women asked, "Is this Naomi?" But she said to them, "Don't call me Naomi, call me Mara, because the Almighty has made my life very bitter. I had everything when I left, but the Lord has brought me back with nothing. Why call me Naomi? The Lord has spoken against me, and the Almighty has made my life hard." So Naomi returned from Moab, and Ruth the Moabite, her daughter-in-law, came with her. They arrived in Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. Naomi had a relative on her late husband's side. He was a rich and important man from Elimelech's family. His name was Boaz. Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, "Let me go to the fields and pick up leftover grain behind anyone who lets me." Naomi said, "Go ahead, my daughter." So Ruth went out and began to pick up leftover grain in the fields behind the workers. It just so happened that she was working in a field that belonged to Boaz, who was from Elimelech's family. Then Boaz arrived from Bethlehem and said to the workers, "May the Lord be with you." They answered, "May the Lord bless you." Boaz asked the man in charge of his workers, "Who is that young woman?" The man replied, "She is the Moabite woman who came back from Moab with Naomi. She asked if she could gather leftover grain behind the workers. She has been working hard from morning until now with only a short rest." Boaz said to Ruth, "Listen, my daughter, don't go and pick grain in another field. Stay here and work with my servant girls. Watch where the men are harvesting and follow along behind the women. I've told the men not to touch you. When you're thirsty, go and get a drink from the water jars the men have filled." Ruth bowed down, face to the ground, and asked him, "Why are you being so kind to me? I'm just a foreigner." Boaz answered, "I've heard everything you've done for your mother-in-law since your husband died. I know you left your father, mother, and homeland to live with people you didn't know before. May the Lord reward you for what you've done. May the God of Israel bless you richly. You've come to him for safety under his wings." Ruth said, "You are very kind to me, sir. You have comforted me and spoken kindly, even though I'm not one of your servant girls."
I want to invite you to a free trading and investing workshop right here in the West Inland Empire that will forever.
At mealtime, Boaz said to her, "Come over here, have some bread and dip it in the vinegar." So she sat with the workers. Boaz gave her some roasted grain. She ate all she wanted and even had some left over. As she got up to gather more grain, Boaz told his workers, "Let her gather even among the bundles. Don't stop her. Pull out some stalks for her on purpose and leave them for her to pick up. Don't scold her." So Ruth gathered grain in the field until evening. Then she beat out the barley she had gathered. It was about a full basket of grain. She carried it back to town. Her mother-in-law saw how much she had gathered. Ruth also gave her the food left over from lunch. Naomi asked her, "Where did you gather grain today? Where did you work? May the man who helped you be blessed." So Ruth told her mother-in-law about the man whose field she had worked in. "His name is Boaz," she said. Naomi said, "May the Lord bless him. He has not stopped showing kindness to the living and the dead." She added, "That man is our close relative. He is one of our family's guardian redeemers." Then Ruth said, "He also told me, 'Stay with my workers until they finish harvesting all my grain.'" Naomi said to Ruth, "That's good, my daughter. Stay with his servant girls. You might be harmed if you go to someone else's field." So Ruth stayed close to the servant girls of Boaz and gathered grain until the barley and wheat harvests were finished. And she kept living with her mother-in-law. One day Naomi, Ruth's mother-in-law, said to her, "My daughter, I must find a home for you so you will be taken care of. Boaz, whose servant girls you've been working with, is a close relative of ours. Tonight, he'll be winnowing barley at the threshing floor. Take a bath, put on perfume, and dress in your best clothes. Then go down to the threshing floor. But don't let him see you until he has finished eating and drinking. Watch where he lies down. Then go and uncover his feet and lie down there. He will tell you what to do." Ruth said, "I'll do everything you say." So she went down to the threshing floor and did everything her mother-in-law told her to do. After Boaz had finished eating and drinking, he was in a good mood. He went to lie down at the far end of the grain pile. Ruth quietly approached, uncovered his feet, and lay down. In the middle of the night, something startled Boaz. He turned over and saw a woman lying at his feet. He asked, "Who are you?" She answered, "I'm Ruth, your servant. Spread your cloak over me, because you are a family redeemer." Boaz said, "The Lord bless you, my daughter. This kindness is even greater than what you showed before. You didn't run after the younger men, whether rich or poor. Now don't worry, my daughter. I will do everything you ask. Everyone in town knows that you are a good woman. It's true that I am a family redeemer, but there is another man who is more closely related than I am. Stay here for the night. In the morning, if he wants to redeem you, good, let him. But if he doesn't want to, I promise by the Lord that I will. Lie here until morning." So she lay at his feet until morning, but got up while it was still dark. Boaz said, "Don't let anyone know that a woman came to the threshing floor." Then he said, "Bring me your shawl and hold it out." When she did, he poured 6 measures of barley into it and placed it on her back. Then he went back to town. When Ruth came to her mother-in-law, Naomi asked, "How did it go, my daughter?" Ruth told her everything Boaz had done for her. She said, "He gave me all this barley. He said, 'Don't go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed.'" Naomi said, "Wait, my daughter, until we find out what happens. Boaz won't rest until he settles the matter today." Boaz went to the town gate and sat down there. Just then, the family redeemer he had talked about came by. Boaz said, "Come over here and sit down, my friend." So the man came and sat down. Boaz took 10 of the town leaders and said, "Sit here." And they sat down. Then Boaz said to the man, "Naomi, who came back from Moab, is selling the land that belonged to our relative Elimelech. I thought I should tell you about it and say, 'Buy it in front of the people sitting here and the elders of my people. If you will redeem it, do so. But if not, tell me, so I'll know. Because you are first in line to redeem it, and I am next after you." The man said, "I will redeem it." Then Boaz said, "On the day you buy the land from Naomi, you must also take Ruth the Moabite, the dead man's widow. That way the name of the dead man will stay with his property." The man replied, "Then I cannot redeem it. I might harm my own estate. You redeem it yourself. I cannot do it." In earlier times in Israel, when people made a deal about property or land, one person would take off his sandal and give it to the other. This was how they made agreements legal in Israel. So the family redeemer said to Boaz, "Buy it yourself." And he took off his sandal. Then Boaz said to the elders and all the people, "Today you are witnesses that I have bought from Naomi everything that belonged to Elimelech, Kilion, and Mahlon. I have also taken Ruth the Moabite, Mahlon's widow, to be my wife. This keeps the name of the dead man with his land, so it will not be lost among his relatives or from his hometown. You are witnesses today." Then all the people at the gate and the elders said, "We are witnesses. May the Lord make this woman who is coming into your home like Rachel and Leah. They built the family of Israel. May you be successful in Ephrathah and famous in Bethlehem. May your family be like the family of Perez, the son Tamar had by Judah, because of the children the Lord will give you through this young woman." So Boaz married Ruth, and she became his wife. When he slept with her, the Lord made her able to have a baby, and she gave birth to a son. The women said to Naomi, "Praise the Lord. Today he has given you a family redeemer. May this child become famous in Israel. He will bring new life to you and take care of you when you're old. Your daughter-in-law loves you, and she is better to you than 7 sons. She has given him birth." Naomi took the baby, held him close, and cared for him. The neighbor women said, "Naomi has a son," and they named him Obed. He became the father of Jesse, who was the father of David. This is the family line of Perez. Perez was the father of Hezron. Hezron was the father of Ram. Ram was the father of Amminadab. Amminadab was the father of Nahshon. Nahshon was the father of Salmon. Salmon was the father of Boaz. Boaz was the father of Obed. Obed was the father of Jesse. And Jesse was the father of David. Ruth's story isn't just an ancient tale, it's a mirror. It whispers to the forgotten, to the loyal, to those walking through shadow and silence. If this truth stirred something in you, don't scroll, speak. Comment, "I choose loyalty." Like this video if you still believe in purpose through pain. Subscribe to
Okay. This is the story of Ruth. We are going to read now the book, but just as an introduction, perhaps some of you didn't know about the story of Ruth. And we have here many points to consider and to analyze. First of all, the book of Ruth begins with the loss, famine, migration, death, and uncertain panorama. And Naomi tells Ruth to remain in Moab. Why? Because she was young, she can remarry, she can restart her life. In Moab, Ruth was local. Yes, everybody knows her. And in fact, going back with Naomi, yes, it's an uncertain future for her. And what about her status as a foreign people? And what about her relationship in spirituality with the God of Israel? One God in one side, yes, and many gods in Moab. This is important to take care. Second, they were women, okay, and it was not easy to walk through the desert from one place to the other. It was very dangerous, okay, for women to walk from one place to the others. Yes, till our time, it's dangerous when a woman take a car and she's driving alone from one place to the other. We always say, take care, see where you stop, okay, try to drive during the day, not during the night. Okay, try to imagine this situation in that time. Really very, very difficult. We see here also a story that shows us, for the very beginning, loyalty. The loyalty between Naomi and Ruth. And the way that she spoke show us 100% loyalty. Let's analyze together, let's see together this loyalty, and let's start to read the book. Let me just return to the screen, to the right screen. Okay, okay, I need to close. Oh. Always, if you are home and you would like to read from our books, my suggestion is the website Sepharia. It's really very, very serious, and it's a good resource. Here we are. Let me read what Rabbi Steinsaltz said. Rabbi Steinsaltz said that Elimelech and his family in Moab, the story of Ruth begins with a famine in the land of Israel, which caused Elimelech family to relocate from Bethlehem to Moab. This move is not strange, and it might first seem, and the Moabite nation shared common roots with the Jewish people. The founding ancestor of the nation Moab was a son of Lot, the nephew of Abraham, our patriarch. Remember, when they arrived to the region, okay, they have a lot of animals, and then they divide. Lot stay in one side of the river, and Abraham crossed the river and entered to Canaan. And this is important. Yes, in the past, we have something in common. Ancient inscriptions indicate that the Moabite language was very similar to Hebrew. Accordingly, Elimelech family remains within the same broad cultural context, despite the numerous differences between the nations. While residing in Moab, the exiled family is struck by a series of tragedies, and only Naomi survived. Okay, here we have the version in Hebrew and English. We are going to read in English, and I would like to invite a volunteer to open the microphone and read for us.
I'll do it.
Please.
You want me to start with in the days?
Yes, this is verse number 1. It's a very, very, very short book. We are calling Megillah, in fact. It's a scroll. It seems that Prophet Samuel wrote this story. And it's just 4 chapters. Very short Megillah, very small, short scrolls, but really very famous in our Jewish literature. Please, Carly, go ahead.
In the days when the chieftains ruled, there was a famine in the land, and a man from Bethlehem in Judah, with his wife and 2 sons, went to reside in the country of Moab. The man's name was Elimelech, his wife's name was Naomi, and his 2 sons were named Mahlon and Chilion. Ephrates of Bethlehem in Judah, they came to the country of Moab and remained there. Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left with her 2 sons.
You see that at the very beginning of the story, we have a tragedy. It's not a happy story. It's a story that starts with the necessity to change the place because they didn't have food and water. And in the middle of the way, Elimelech died. Please continue. Verse number 4.
They married Moabite women, one named Orpah and the other Ruth, and they lived there about 10 years. Then those 2, Mahlon and Chilion, also died. So the woman was left without her 2 sons and without her husband.
Yes, the woman it's related to Naomi. Yes,
is Naomi. Mm-hmm.
Oh, exactly.
She started out with her daughters-in-law to return from the country of Moab, for in the country of Moab she had heard that God had taken note of the people of Israel and given them food.
Okay, now they have the good news. Okay, there is food in the other side. We can return. After 10 years, many things happen in 10 years. Okay.
Accompanied by her 2 daughters-in-law, she left the place where she had been living, and they set out on the road back to the land of Judah. But Naomi said to her 2 daughters-in-law, "Turn back, each of you, to her mother's house. May God deal kindly with you, as you have dealt with the dead and with me. May God grant each of you find security in the house of a husband." And she kissed them farewell, and they broke into weeping. And
We,
said
we,
to her,
we can see here feelings. It's something that it's not very common in the Torah or in the
true.
different books.
Mm.
Many times don't show us feelings. Here it's really clear feelings, sadness. After 10 years, they are going in different ways, and this is something really that happens when people love each other. Yes.
They broke into weeping and said to her, "No, we will return with you to your people." But Naomi replied, "Turn back, my daughters. Why should you go with me? Have I any more sons in my body who might be husbands for you? Turn back, my daughters, for
In fact, she was not selfish, because let's try to think in that way. If Naomi was old woman and she was walking alone, returning to the land of Israel, and returning to Canaan, returning to Bethlehem, it's better to be with the company of their daughters-in-law. And she said, not return. Okay, she was not thinking about her, she was thinking about them.
whoops. Go back down.
Here,
Yep, right there.
sorry. Let me see if I can change just for English. Let me see. No. Okay, now will be easier. Okay.
Oh, okay. But Naomi,
Where we are here.
accompanied by, okay, but Naomi and her 2 daughters-in-law turned back, each of you, to her mother's house. May God deal kindly with you as you have dealt with the dead and with me. May God grant that each of you find security in the house of a husband. And she kissed them farewell, and they broke into weeping and said, "Oh, we said that, all right." "No, we will return with you to your people." But Naomi
Wait a minute. This is the answer of both at the beginning, okay?
Mhm.
Both.
Both of them,
We
yes.
are talking about Orpah and Ruth. Both said, no, we will return with you to your people.
Mm-hmm.
But
But Naomi replied, "Turn back, my daughters. Why should you go with me? Have I any more sons in my body who might be husbands for you? Turn back, my daughters, for I am too old to be married. Even if I thought there was hope for me, even if I were married tonight and also bore sons, should you wait for them to grow up? Should you, on their account, debar yourselves from marriage? Oh, no, my daughters, my lot is far more bitter than yours, for God's hand has struck out against me." And they broke into weeping again, and Orpah kissed her mother-in-law farewell, but Ruth clung to her. So she said,
okay.
"See, your sister-in-law has returned to her people and her gods. Go follow your sister-in-law."
You
But
see that Naomi insists, go back to your land, go with Orpah. You don't need to stay.
Mhm. But Ruth replied, "Do not urge me to leave you, to turn back and not follow you. Wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. Thus and more may God do to me, if anything but death parts me from you."
Okay, just a minute, Carly.
Go ahead.
These two verses are the most
Yes.
powerful verses that we can find
Yes.
in the book of Ruth, because it shows really 100% loyalty, and it's really very, very, very strong what you can receive from this verse, because we are not talking just about life, we are talking also about death.
Yep.
It's not I'm going to be with you, not just when I alive, also when I will die. Okay, I would like to be with you. And when Ruth is talking about you, it's not just Naomi, is about her people. And let's go and do not urge me to leave you, to turn back and not follow you. For wherever you go, I will go. She never knows the decision of Naomi. She's going to go north, south, east, west. She's going to move again to Moab. She said, I going with you. And then she continue, wherever you lodge, I will lodge. And this is also very, very important. Yes, they will be close one with the other. Your people shall be my people. Your people with one God, your people with their tradition, your people with their holidays, your people with their food, your people with your tradition. This will be my people. And your God, my God. And here, to conclude, where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. This is a very important point. And when we are studying the book of Ruth, and special with people who would like to convert to Judaism, we study and we reflect about these verses. Why? When you decide to change your religion, when you decide to change your culture, when you decide to change the place that you live, it's forever. It's not a decision, okay, I'm convert to Judaism, and from Monday to Friday, I will continue to be Jew. On Sunday, I will continue to be Christian. And on Friday, I'm going to be Muslim. I don't know. But here, it means I will be forever in your side, and I will be 100% following your culture. And here, it's really, it's more than a verse, it's a declaration. Okay, it's a commitment. We are talking about loyalty. This is a commitment. When in all my courses of Judaism or introduction of Judaism, when we need to cross the bridge, yes, let's see the bridge in the back of Susie. Yes, when you cross the bridge, try to think that the bridge disappears. And if the bridge disappears, you can't cross back. Okay, when you cross the bridge spirituality of the spirituality, yes, if you decide to change your religion, you can come back. Okay, and this is really important to consider. When you become a Jew, you are a Jew. If you like to belong to other religion and you became a Jew, you need to convert to the other religion. Okay, and this is an important point to consider. And it's not just the spirituality, it's also the place that you rest for the rest of your life. Because there are many people who perhaps agreed for the conversion, but they say, when I going to die, I would like to rest in the cemetery where my family is resting. And in Judaism, you know that we need to rest in a Jewish cemetery. Also, when you died as a Jew, and you need to be buried with your brothers and your sisters. You can't change the place and go to other cemetery from other religion. And this is a commitment, not just during your life, also when you died. And it's really very strong. And this is the declaration that I invite the people who convert to Judaism to say in front of the Torah, in front of the Holy Ark, because it's a commitment that they embrace, not just for the day of the conversion, forever. Okay? Then, if you are in the process, if you are thinking about your conversion, reflect to these verses. If you are a Jew, reflect about loyalty. What is loyalty in Judaism, and what is to be together, and how important it's to welcome the people who don't believe like us, because they can be like Ruth. And Ruth, for us, it's an example of conversion. Okay, in the time of Ruth, they didn't visit a rabbi, a synagogue, or the URJ or any other institution to say, I would like to convert. Ruth didn't have this opportunity, but she followed what she considered that was basic. One God, one tradition, one land, holidays, and the place that I go into rest. Okay, what else we have here? We have, she act with humility, loyalty, kindness, and devotion, not just for God, for her mother-in-law. Sometimes people leave Torah values before they know Torah language. And this is really very, very important. Ruth stays with Naomi. And now the story, it's going to start in another place. Okay, now let's say the second part of the story, we started in Bethlehem, we went to Moab, and now we are back in Belen. Please, Carolee.
When Naomi saw how determined she was to go with her, she ceased to argue with her, and the two went on until they reached Bethlehem. When they arrived in Bethlehem, the whole city buzzed with excitement over them. The women said, "Can this be Naomi?" "Do not call me Naomi," she replied. "Call me Mara, for Shaddai has made my lot very bitter. I went away full, and God has brought me back empty. How can you call me Naomi when God has dealt harshly with me, when Shaddai has brought misfortune upon me?" Thus Naomi returned from the country of Moab. She returned with her daughter-in-law, Ruth the Moabite. They arrived in Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest.
Okay, this is very important, and it's not minor, this information. We study the book of Ruth exactly in this holiday in Shavuot, because we can see the relationship between this history and the history of Shavuot, and also the giving of the Torah at Sinai, the covenant between God and Israel, the acceptance of a sacred identity. The rabbis connect to Ruth to Shavuot because Israel collectively accepted the Torah, and Ruth personally accepted the covenant. And Ruth becomes like a mini Sinai story. We need now to know that after 10 years, the people came to the gate of the city, and they said, "Is this Naomi?" Yes, try to imagine after 10 years, without Facebook, without cell phone, without any information. They didn't know if it's or not. But now we need to consider that the city of Bethlehem received 2 widows. And other important thing that show us the text, the entire time when the text refers to Ruth, Ruth the Moabite. Okay, she is different. It's not just Ruth, it's Ruth the Moabite. Okay, she's from another place. She's not like us, the Moabite. Okay, but it's important to remember, okay, because the status of the woman that time, if they were widows, yes, they had less rights. They didn't have rights to have their own land, and for where is coming the food. This is an important thing to consider. Let's go to chapter number 2. Thank you, Carolee. Another reader, please. Another volunteer. Who would like to read chapter 2? Not all together, please. Come on. Randy, are you reading? Open your microphone. I see that you...
I'm struggling to read it. My trifocals are...
I saw that you move your mouse, but the microphone was... Okay. Now, come on.
Okay. Now Naomi had a kinsman in her husband's side, a man of substance of the family of Elimelech.
Here we have, here you have an important information. Man of substance. Okay, we say in Yiddish, Geld. Okay, he was important. He had his resources. He was from Elimelech family. Please, verse number 2.
Alrighty. Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, I would like to go to the fields and glean among the ears of grain, behind someone who may show me kindness. Yes, daughters, go, she replied.
This is a right in the people of Israel. Okay, it was a right. If you are a widow, if you are a stranger, you had the right to enter to the fields, to take, enough food for your own. But it was a right. And this is something really important to consider, how the people of Israel consider the stranger. We are not going to give him the food ready. Let him enter to the fields and work. Okay, this is also an example of dignity. Verse number 3.
And off she went. She came and gleaned in a field behind the reapers, and, as luck would have it, it was the piece of land belonging to Boaz, who was of Elimelech's family. Presently Boaz arrived from Bethlehem. He greeted the reapers, God be with you. And they responded, God bless you. Boaz said to the servant who was in charge of the reapers, whose girl is this?
He was very smart. He knows his people, but it was there a nice girl. Whose girl is that? Someone new here in my fields. Who is she?
The servant in charge of the reapers replied, she is a Moabite who came with Naomi from the land of Moab. She said, let's see, I have to find where we are. Please let me glean and gather among the sheaves behind the reapers. So she has been on her feet ever since she came this morning. She has already rested. Let's see. She has hardly rested at all in the hut. Boaz said to Ruth, listen to me, daughter. Don't go to glean in another field. Don't go elsewhere, but stay here, close to my maid servants.
Why do you think that Boaz asked Ruth to stay in his field?
He has his eye on her.
Okay. Other answer?
I think also he realizes that she is related in some way to his relative Naomi,
Okay.
maybe.
Also, it could be dangerous for her to go to another field.
Oh, it would.
She can be raped.
Yep.
It was also a way to protect her. Okay, stay here. You are family. I know from where you are coming.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we are part of the same family.
Yes.
It was a way, not just because perhaps she liked her, he likes her beauty, but it was a way to protect her. Let's continue the reading.
Keep your eyes on the field, they are reaping, and follow them. I have ordered the workers not to harass you. And when you were thirsty, go to the jars and drink some of the water the workers have drawn. She prostrated herself with her face to the ground and said to him, Why are you so kind as to single me out when I am a foreigner? Boaz said in reply, I have been told of all that you did for your mother-in-law after the death of your husband, how you left your father and mother in the land of your birth and came to a people you had not known before. May God reward your deeds. May you have a full recompense from the Eternal, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have sought refuge.
Okay, he knows that she's a good girl. She did well with Naomi, that was Boaz's relative. Let's try to protect her. Let's try to give her. Let's give her a VIP. Okay, right in our field. She's not like others. She was really very, very special.
She answered, You are most kind, my lord, to comfort me and to speak gently to your maidservant, though I am not as so. This must be in like a 5 font, although I am not so much as one of your maidservants.
Okay.
At mealtime, Boaz said to her, Come over here and partake of the meal, and dip your morsel in the vinegar. So she sat down beside the reapers. He handed her parched grain, and she ate her fill and had some left over. When she got up again to glean, Boaz gave orders to his workers. You are not only to let her glean among the sheaves without interference, but you must also put some stalks out of the heaps and leave them for her to glean and not scold her. She gleaned in the field until evening. Then she beat out what she had gleaned. It was about an ephah of barley, and carried it back with her to the town. When her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned, she then also took out and gave her what she had left over after eating her fill. Her mother-in-law asked her, Where did you glean today? Where did you work? Blessed be he who took such generous notice of you. So she told her mother-in-law, whom she had worked with, saying, The name of the man with whom I worked today is Boaz.
Do you think that the mother-in-law didn't know where she was? Or she tried to say, "Oh, I'm surprised. Where you go? Oh, she's coming full food."
I
What
think
do
she
you
knew.
think? She knows? She didn't know?
I have a feeling she knew.
I'm sure that she knows. Yes,
Mhm.
because at the beginning it's written that go to the Boaz field. Yeah, it means that she went to the Boaz field, but perhaps what Nomi didn't know that Boaz was back. Perhaps it's that information, and this is the reason why Naomi was surprised. Okay, Naomi said,
Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, Blessed be he of God, who has not failed to show kindness to the living or to the dead. 4, Naomi explained to her daughter-in-law, "The man is related to me. He is one of our redeeming kinsmen." Ruth the Moabite said, "He even told me, 'Stay close by my workers until all of my harvest is finished.'" And Naomi answered her daughter-in-law Ruth, "It is best, daughter, that you go out with his maidservants and not be accosted in some other field." So she stayed close to the maidservants of Boaz and gleaned until the barley harvest and the wheat harvest were finished. Then she stayed at home with her mother-in-law.
Thank you very, very much,
You're welcome,
Randy.
sir.
Here we have really a key word that it's redeeming or redeemer. Okay, this is a key word for this part of the Megillah, redeemer. Let's talk a little bit about this concept, redeemer. Why a widow had a redeemer, and how we can explain who was a redeemer in that time. It was a way to protect the woman and to try to give her some guarantee that she is going to get married again. The redeemer must be the closer relative from the husband who died. If the husband who died had a brother, the brother must be the redeemer. If didn't have a brother, okay, other relative really close, the closer one will be the redeemer. My question is, Boaz knows the law. Okay, let's try to understand. Boaz knows the law, and he applied the law. He was an important person. He was an important man, but he didn't like to be over the law. He wanted to do the things right. Imagine if Boaz invite Ruth to get married, and then suddenly appears a redeemer, someone who was closest than him. It will be a problem. What it means to redeem someone in that time? Okay, to redeem it's to get married, and remember that we are talking about a polygamy system. A man can have more than one wife, but we have legal problems. If a man have one than more wife, and each wife have kids, all of them will have rights to redeem the land, or to have the to receive part of the, I don't know, the animals that they have in that time, the land, the gold, the silver. If a man who was married, and then Ruth is coming, and she's going to be also mother because she was young, it will be a problem. And this is the reason why the person who was in the list to redeem her didn't like to redeem her, because this person have his own family, and he didn't like to divide his belongs. Okay, let's say in that way. We have here also, yes, we have here a widow, we have here a foreign, we have here a vulnerable woman, but she was not alone. She was with her mother-in-law, and this is really very important for us. Let's go to chapter number 3. Another reader, please. Another volunteer.
I can read.
Please, Jason.
Naomi, her mother-in-law, said to her, "Daughter, I must seek a home for you, where you may be happy. Now there is our kinsman Boaz, whose girls you were close to. He will be winnowing barley on the threshing floor tonight. So bathe, anoint yourself, dress up, and go down to the threshing floor. But do not disclose yourself to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. When he lies down, note the place where he lies down and go over and uncover his feet and lie down. He will tell you what you are to do."
Wait a minute. Okay, here we have a plan. Okay, we can see here how Naomi created, or she thought, a plan, something to do with Boaz. Let's see if it works or not. My question is why she asked to uncover his feet and lie down. Tell me, you, when you are sleeping, okay, you are in your comfortable bed, and then you uncover your feet. What happened?
I'll probably wake up.
You get cold.
Yes, it's cold. What do you like to do if it's cold?
Cover up again.
Yes, or you start to touch around, okay? And who was around?
The girl.
Ruth was around.
Ruth.
But what she did before? And how was the plan? Okay, let's eat, yes, and let's drink. He's not going to know what he's doing because he would like to sleep, because he will be very tired. And then when he sleeps, uncover the feet and stay there. Don't return to me. Stay there. Stay in the tent. Okay, this is the plan. Which is the goal of this plan? We are adults. We can talk this openly.
Matchmaking?
Yes, in certain point. But try now we are in the place of Boaz. Okay, he ate and he drank. He was really tired and he slept. What can happen? He started to feel cold. He was not in his own. What can happen? He started to touch.
Things can happen.
Okay. He started to touch, and then they had, of course, relations. But we have a problem here. Okay, Boaz was not the first in the line of the Redeemers, but he had an experience with Ruth. Okay, they slept together. Okay, something happened there. We didn't have a camera. It was not the big brother to see what happened inside the tent, but we can understand that something happened. Let's continue with the reading, Jason.
She replied, "I will do everything you tell me." She went down to the threshing floor and did as her mother-in-law had instructed her. Boaz ate and drank, and in a cheerful mood went to lie down beside the grain pile. Then she went over stealthily and uncovered his feet and lay down. In the middle of the night, the man gave a start and pulled back. There was a woman lying at his feet. "Who are you?" he asked. And she replied, "I am your handmaid, Ruth. Spread your robe over your handmaid, for you are a redeeming kinsman." He exclaimed, "Be blessed of God, daughter. Your latest deed of loyalty is greater than the first, and that you have not turned to younger men, whether poor or rich. And now, daughter, have no fear. I will do in your behalf whatever you ask, for all the elders of my town know what a fine woman you are. While it is true I am a redeeming kinsman, there is another redeemer closer than I. Stay for the night, then in the morning, if he will act as Redeemer, good. Let him redeem. But if he does not want to act as Redeemer for you, I will do so myself, as God lives. Lie down until morning. So she lay at his feet until dawn. She rose before one person could distinguish another, for he thought, let it not be known that the woman came to the threshing floor. And he said, hold out the shawl you are wearing. She held it while he measured out 6 measures of barley and put it on her back. When she got back to the town, she came to her mother-in-law, who asked, how is it with you, daughter? She told her all that the man had done for her. And she added, he gave me these 6 measures of barley, saying to me, do not go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed. And Naomi said, stay here, daughter, till you learn how the matter turns out. For the man will not rest, but will settle the matter today.
Thank you very much, Jason. And we arrive to the last chapter. We need to consider, and you are going to see in the next chapter, the status of the woman, the status of Ruth. I'm sure that you, woman, you are not going to like the status of the woman. It's like Ruth was part of the belongings that the Redeemer found in the field of Elimelech, Machlon, and Kilion. Let's say in other words, like Ruth was part of the property, like something material. And this is the status that the woman had in that time. She was like something material. She enters, and the status was completely different than we consider in our days. Of course, that when we sign the ketubah, if it's the traditional ketubah, we ask how much one family pay for the bride. And this shows us that the woman still today, it's considered like something material. He's going, okay, now we are going to talk about redemption, but or the Redeemer, but we can understand that Boaz knows exactly about the law. Okay, let's go to the last part of our Megillah, chapter number 4. Who would like to read, please? Come on.
I'll read.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, Boaz
Excuse
had
me.
gone to the gate and sat down there. And now the Redeemer whom Boaz had mentioned passed by. He called, come over and sit down here, so-and-so. And he came over and sat down.
Here we have another important detail, Susie. This happened at the gate of the town, of the village. Yes. Why in the gate? Because the gate was the place that everybody joined, and important things happen there. Everybody knows what happened. It's a public place, and everybody can be a witness of this moment. It was not inside the tent, just with a few number of people. It was in the gate. It was public. Everybody must know if the closer Redeemer is going to redeem Ruth or not. Please go ahead.
Then Boaz took 10 elders of the town and said, be seated here, and they sat down. He said to the Redeemer, Naomi, now returned from the country of Moab, must sell the piece of land that belonged to our kinsman Elimelech. I thought I should disclose the matter to you and say, acquire it in the presence of those seated here and in the presence of the elders of my people. If you are willing to redeem it, redeem. But if you will not redeem, tell me that I may know, for there is No one to redeem but you, and I come after you. I am willing to redeem it, he replied. Boaz continued, when you acquire the property from Naomi and from Ruth the Moabite, you must also acquire the wife of the deceased, so as to perpetuate the name of the deceased upon his estate.
Yes, when you redeem the combo, okay? And the combo is coming with everything. Yes, you buy the package, or you open the box and you take everything that is coming inside the box. And this is the rule, okay? You are taking everything, and here is where I mentioned that, like Ruth, it's something material. She's part of the package. Verse number 6.
The Redeemer replied, then I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I impair my own estate. You take over my right of redemption, for I am unable to exercise it. Now this was formerly done in Israel in cases of redemption or exchange to validate any transaction. One party would take off a sandal and hand it to the other. Such was the practice in Israel.
It was a practice in Israel, but it was a practice in the Middle East, okay? Do you remember a couple of years ago when George W. Bush went to Iraq? What was happened in a press conference?
Yeah, he
They
threw
threw
it.
a shoe at them.
Yes, but the sandal, okay, the same concept, okay? When they agree or disagree, okay, they threw a sandal, and it was part, and it's part also till today in many places in the Middle East. They continue with this culture, okay? At that time was the tradition in the people of Israel. Verse number 8.
So when the Redeemer said to Boaz, acquire for yourself, he drew off his sandal. And Boaz said to the elders and to the rest of the people, you are witnesses today that I am acquiring from Naomi all that belonged to Elimelech and all that belonged to Chilion and Malon. I am also acquiring Ruth the Moabite, the wife of Malon, as my wife, so as to perpetuate the name of the deceased upon his estate, that the name of the deceased may not disappear from among his kinsmen and from the gate of his hometown. You are witnesses today.
Okay, he asked everybody, the sages of this time, the elderly people, the elders were there. You are my witnesses, and everybody knows it was at the gate, and of course this news spread around the place. Everybody knows. Now Ruth is going to change her status.
All
Yes.
the people at the gate and the elders answered, we are. May God make the woman who is coming into your house like Rachel and Leah, both of whom built up the house of Israel proper in Ephraim, and perpetuate your name in Bethlehem. And may your house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah through the offspring of God will give you by this young woman. So Boaz married Ruth. She became his wife, and he cohabited with her. God let her conceive and she bore a son. And the women said to Naomi, blessed be God who has not withheld a redeemer from you today. May his name be perpetuated in Israel. He will renew your life and sustain your old age, for he is born of your daughter-in-law, who loves you and is better to you than 7 sons. Naomi took the child and held it to her bosom. She became its foster mother, and the women neighbors gave him a name, saying, "A son is born to Naomi." They named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, father of David. This is
When
the
we sorry, one thing.
Yeah.
When we are talking about David, yes, we are talking about King David.
yeah.
In the at the future will be King David, the famous King David. Okay.
This is the line of Perez. Perez begot Herdzon. Herdzon begot Ram. Ram begot Aminadab. Aminadab begot Nashon. Nashon begot Simon. Simon begot Boaz. Boaz begot Obed. Obed begot Jesse. And Jesse begot David.
Okay. And here, okay, it's the end of the book of Ruth. What we can why it was so important to show this family tree? Why do you think that it's important to show for us?
Well, King David was an important part of this.
Can we say that perhaps we can say that King David was the most? Can we say that he was the most important king of Israel? He expanded the kingdom as no one, and he fight for Israel, and the big Israel, the big borders of Israel were in the time of King David. Okay, here we can, and anyone have any doubt about David, about his loyalty of the people of Israel? Anyone consider David a foreign king? We sing till today, David, Melech Israel, Chai Chai Vekayam. Yes, he's live, and David Melech Israel, he exists, and he is with us. But can someone have any doubt about?
He had someone killed, I think.
He was a warrior, and he died, and of course, and he sent the husband of Bathsheba to the front. He was not an angel, but and his first son died. Okay, but what we can see from this from this tree of life, let's say in that way, if nobody complains about David, we need to remember that if we are going back, David is coming from a convert to Judaism. This show, this history also show us how we embrace the people who convert to Judaism. Yes, when you convert to Judaism, you are a Jew, and you are very welcome to our people, and you can be someone very important. We have many important people in the history of Israel who were converts. Okay. A couple of days ago, when we commemorate Lag BaOmer, we talk about Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva was a convert. Yes, and we are talking about Rabbi Akiva. And nowadays, we have in our generation also many important rabbis who were born from a non-Jewish mother or non-Jewish father, but we consider them Jewish and important people of the Am Israel, of the people of Israel, and we have more information. It's not just this family line finish with David. What we believe as people of Israel, we have a strong faith in the Mashiach, in the Messiah. For where it's going to come, the Messiah?
From David, from the house of David.
From David. Okay, this is what I try to show you. Okay, and all this history start with a woman who was not Jew, and every time they said Ruth the Moabite, Ruth the Moabite, Ruth the Moabite. She was the grandmother of King David, and from King David's going to come the Messiah. This is a very strong message, but also this is a very strong message for the people who, for us Jews, to accept the foreign. Okay, we need to embrace and welcome who is loyal to our people. Any doubt, once you convert to Judaism, you are a Jew. I can't continue to call you, I don't know, let's say in that way, I don't know, Gabriel the foreign, okay? Or, I don't know, Adrian the foreign, the Moabite or the Christian or the Muslim. Once you embrace Judaism, you are a Jew. And I don't need to call you by the place that you are coming. You are you, and that's it for me. It's Gabriel, and it's Ruth, and it's, I don't know, Reuben, and it's this and that. But everybody is very welcome when shows that it's so loyal than Ruth. And the people who enter to the people of Israel, also they need to understand that it's a commitment, and they must be so loyal that Ruth was with Naomi and with all of us. But nobody have the right to say you are welcome, you are not welcome. Perhaps we have someone from the Ruth family who will join us, and we don't have the right to say you are not welcome. Everybody is very welcome. And I always say that sometimes the problem are the rabbis who don't welcome everybody, because in that time she decided to follow Ruth, and it was enough. It was her commitment. Nowadays we have more rules and this and that, and we need to study. But this story, it's really very important, because show us, and I going back to our initial question, Ruth and the Torah, a story of choice and belonging. When someone convert to the Judaism, it's a story of choice, and when you are part of us, you belong to us. Okay, you are part of us, and here we need to see both sides, the person who enter and how we receive, and the way that we are ready to receive the people who would like to enter to Judaism. Okay, this is the great story. We read this story during Shavuot, and we had the opportunity during our meeting to read and to go deeply and to understand better, yes, from where they are coming. And this is really just 4 chapters. You saw, we read the entire Megillah of Ruth during our class. We reflect, and I hope that this story will be really good for both sides, who would like to convert to Judaism or who pass for this process of conversion, and us as a people, if we are ready or not to be open for new people inside Israel. Okay. Any other reflection? Susie, at the beginning you said that you love this story. Tell us why you love this story.
I just like the way she followed her mother-in-law and I just like the story, period.
Good. Sherry.
Yeah, this is very interesting because a year ago I saw a biblical exhibit of David in the Psalms in a museum in New York City. Now it's making complete sense of why Christians and all these Christian texts embrace David's Psalms and these biblical stories. I mean, now I understand that exhibit. Before I thought, okay, yes, they thought David was important, but now I see that his grandmother Ruth, and that she wasn't Jewish, and then she became Jewish, and now it makes sense why those Christian texts had all these things about David with biblical texts and Jewish biblical.
They think that David is an ancestor of Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's why.
Mhm.
Yes.
And another curiosity, nowadays, when we are calling someone with the name of Ruth, we don't have any doubt that Ruth, it's a very Jewish name, a very strong Jewish name. But in fact, it was not a Jewish person who showed us this
Yes.
at the beginning. And the same Moses, yes, Moshe was not a
Jewish name either.
Jewish name.
Right.
Yes, it was an Egyptian name. And nowadays, for our generation, who call Moses or Moshe, or who call Ruth, we don't have any. And always when we listen to the name Ruth, we suspect that the person can be Jew, okay? Because it's a typical Jewish name, Ruth. Okay, and this is a very, very nice story. It's important to remember year after year, to read, to discuss, to reflect, because this gives us a sense of community too, and a sense of responsibility. Okay, thank you very much. Next,
Thank you, Rabbi.
please, my pleasure. Next Thursday, we are going to celebrate Tikkun Leil Shavuot. It will be a very nice evening. We are going to celebrate. And how is the way that we celebrate Shavuot? Studying and eating, okay? You are invited. We are going to be here 6:30 p.m. And I'm thinking that we are going also to broadcast live. Okay, just if you can't, I don't know yet how we can do with the food through the Zoom, but the study sessions will be here. If you have the opportunity to join us, you receive in the newsletter the details. If not, you can enter to my social media and see the details of the program. Okay, and we are going to wait for you with wine and cheese.
Temple.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wine and cheese. Everybody will be very welcome. And if you like to prepare your cheesecake, also, you are very welcome to come. We are going to share what we call milk food. Yes, all food that is related with milk. This is part of our tradition, and we say that as the milk is to the baby, the Torah is to the people of Israel. One can live without the other. Okay, my friends, I wait for you tomorrow to celebrate Shabbat. We have many reasons. We are people who celebrate the entire time. Tomorrow we are going to dedicate the service to commemorate Yom Yerushalayim, the Jerusalem Day. And this is also a very good reason to be together. Chag Sameach, Yom Yerushalayim Sameach, and see you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you.
תודה רבה.